have led to a massive reduction in global emissions. But there's one area where energy usage is up, way up. During the pandemic, data-intensive video streaming, gaming, and live streaming for business, university, and school classes is chewing up energy. Estimates can be notoriously difficult and depend on the electricity source, but 6 hours of video streaming may be the equivalent of burning 1 liter of petrol. Due to emissions from the electricity used to power the data centers which deliver the video. In fact, the energy associated with the global IT sector, from powering internet servers to charging smartphones, is estimated to have the same carbon footprint as the aviation industry's fuel emissions, before the planes were grounded. Where does the data come from? Video requires huge amounts of data and accounts for around 80% of the data transmitted on the internet. Much of the energy needed for streaming services is consumed by data centers, which deliver data to your computer or device. Increasingly housed in vast factory-sized buildings, these servers store, process, and distribute internet traffic. Research in 2015 found data centers may consume as much as 13% of the world's electricity by 2030, accounting for 6% of the global carbon dioxide emissions. Data centers in European countries consumed 25% more data in 2017 compared with 2014. Imagine what those figures will look like at the end of this year of homebound internet use. The growth in the IT is often taken for granted. In contrast to the old days of dial-up internet, we now demand a 3-hour movie in high definition to download immediately. We want phones that can take video like a pro. None of this is free, nor is it sustainable. According to a research in 2011, every year the number of computations or transmissions of information through space done globally increases by 60%. All this computation uses transistors. These are tiny switches that amplify electrical signals and are made using silicon-based technology. For the past 40 years, our ever-increasing need for more computing was largely satisfied by incremental improvements in silicon-based computing technology. Even smaller, even faster, even more efficient chips. We refer to this constant shrinking of silicon components as Moore's law. For example, since the late 1970s, the length of transistors reduced by 30% and the area by about 50%, which is far better for the environment. While each transistor only uses a tiny amount of energy, there are billions of transistors in a typical computer chip, each switching billions of times per second. This can add up to a vast amount of energy. Recently, it has become much harder and much more expensive to pursue such trends, and the number of companies pursuing smaller components is dropping off rapidly. Globally, 4 companies manufactured chips with 14 nanometer transistors in 2014, but in recent years, they have struggled to continue shrinking the size of silicon transistors. Global foundries dropped out of this race altogether in 2018. So the answer isn't to switch off Netflix, the answer is to create better computer chips. But we've got everything we can out of silicon, and we need to use something else. If we want computing to continue to grow, we need new, energy-efficient computers. The ARC Center of Excellence in Future Low Energy Electronics Technologies, FLEET, was established in 2017 to address exactly this challenge. Last year, scientists at FLEET published research in Nature revealing the discovery that topological material could be the key to achieving ultra-low energy electronics. These so-called topological insulators, which led to a 2016 Nobel Prize in Physics, conduct electricity only along their edges and in one direction, without loss of energy due to resistance. It has chemical and physical properties which will not conduct current through the bulk of the material, but will carry current along the surface. The current that it carries has some special properties too, that arise from the quantum nature of the material. This discovery is the first step towards the development of a low-energy replacement for conventional silicon-based electronics. Other countries are equally focused on developing alternatives like quantum computing to the unsustainable need for better and faster electronics, since we cannot sustain the energy needed for these existing and future technologies. All of these technologies are still confined to specialized laboratories and are probably at least a decade away from finding their way into everyday devices. But we don't expect the demand for computing to go away, and the energy problem in IT will only become more urgent.